With all the talk about police brutality in the US right now, we wanted to answer a seemingly simple question. When is it okay for police to shoot someone in the US? We're not talking on ethical grounds, we just wanted some straightforward legal guidelines. And as you may have guessed, they aren't as simple as you'd hope. The first thing to know is officers are trained to use their guns as a last resort. But even then, people always ask, why don't they just shoot in the arm or leg? Cops are actually trained to aim here rather than here or here, meaning they probably won't miss and the suspect probably won't survive. So when is it actually okay for cops to kill? Under U.S. law, there are two circumstances. The first is in defense of life, whether it's to protect their own life or the life of another. So if a suspect is aiming a gun or what looks like a gun directly at an officer, then the officer can legally shoot the suspect if he believes his life is in danger. The second circumstance is to prevent a suspect from escaping, but only if the cop has reason to think that the suspect poses a significant violent threat to the community, whatever that means. This became law thanks to the 1985 Tennessee versus Garner Supreme Court case, which concluded that it was a Fourth Amendment violation for police to fire at unarmed, nonviolent people running away. In the case, Edward Garner, not to be confused with Eric Garner, was shot dead by two police officers after he fled the scene of a house burglary. The officers were trying to stop Garner from climbing a fence to get away when they killed him. $10 and a purse were found in Garner's possession, and he was 15. So there's gotta be a significant threat, but according to who? The legal answer? The officer involved. They have to have, quote, objectively reasonable belief that there was a threat, even if there wasn't. This law comes from another Supreme Court ruling, 1989's Graham versus Connor. In this case, DeThorne Graham was having a diabetic attack, went to buy an orange juice from a convenience store, but quickly left when he saw the long line. A nearby officer suspected that Graham was robbing the store when he saw his quick exit, so he slammed him against the hood of a police car, breaking Graham's foot. The court ruled that officers don't have to demonstrate whether or not their intentions were good, but rather that their actions were objectively reasonable, given their perception of what happened. Okay, so that's the law for everybody, but police departments' policies vary. Some only allow their officers to use lethal force in the first circumstance or in defense of life. If their cops fire at a fleeing suspect, they could lose their jobs, but they probably won't be charged with a crime. So for a cop to shoot his gun, he's got to have an objectively reasonable belief that there is a significant threat. When you really think about it, there is no standard for knowing when lethal force is needed. It really just depends on how the cop sees it.